Hey, so I see the second half, and I am going to do it a little bit differently than how they do it. I think that you should do it like me, personally. But if they, are upset, then I'll do another example so you can see it. But anyway, so for like example number 3, I'm going to just go ahead and do it. Like in the previous example, all we did was we just found what C was. And the purpose of doing that is so that we can create something called vertex form. Vertex form is when you have y equals a x minus h squared plus k. And hk is your axis of symmetry, your vertex is hk. And then your axis of symmetry is always going to be the first number of your vertex. So we actually learned this in Algebra 1, but it's just been a while. Anyway, so the whole purpose of like doing examples 1, 2, and 3 was just so that we can apply it to this next part. So we're doing the same thing we did earlier, but I'm actually going to set this equal to 0 because that's how I teach it. And we're doing the same thing again. I'm going to take this b value and I'm going to divide it by 2 and square it. So that's going to give me 2 squared, or 4. So really this is a plus 4 right here. And what we do to one side, we have to do to the other, right? So so just so you know that this is not actually part of our answer. We just used it to like get part of our answer. So then 4 plus 0 gives me 4. And then on the right hand side, I can do the same thing I did earlier. I can write it as a binomial squared. So square root of the first, square root of the last, and the sign. Okay, and we're almost done. The next thing I need to do is just bring my 4 over. So I'm going to subtract 4. And 4, unfortunately, is not like terms with the binomial squared. They follow different rules. So this is going to be 0 equals x plus 2 squared minus 4. And again, like from here, I can get my vertex, which is going to be -2, -4, and my axis of symmetry, which is x equals the first number, which is -2. Just remember, your vertex is always opposite and then normal, or same, or however they taught you. But this is your answer. This is your equation up top, and your vertex in the middle, and then finally your axis of symmetry. All right, so for the next one, I'm sort of mimicking this after number 5. Basically what's happening is in both of our examples, we sort of like are looking for a pattern. We're looking for our first term to be a perfect square, which currently it's not because of the 2, okay? And we're looking for our, I'm going to change this to a 5. We're looking for our last term to be a perfect square, which, again, currently it's not because it's 5 now. And then we're looking for the middle to be a multiple of 2. And we have part of it. We have the x squared, which is, that's good to go, so yay. We got the 20, which is good, but the 2 and the 5 are preventing us from doing the rest. So we're going to follow completing the square steps to make it work for us. So I'm going to get rid of all this, and then change this to a 5. All right, so first things first, I'm going to set this up like how I did before. I'm going to set it equal to 0. I'm going to subtract 5 on both sides. I'm going to get -5 is equal to 2x squared plus 20x. All right, and then the previous one, we just took our b value, right? Well, we can't do that right now because of this number. So like in our previous example with our 4, we just went right ahead because our leading coefficient was 1, all right? But now our leading coefficient is 2. So that's an issue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to factor out a 2. I'm going to factor out whatever this number is in front, and I'm going to write it like this, if it'll let me. So it'd be -5 equals 2x squared plus 10x. All right, so I've done it, and now we can see like this is very similar to what you had from example 1, 2, and 3. All right, so I'm going to follow the steps for that. This will give me 10 divided by 2 squared. That's going to be 5 squared, or 25. So I'm going to add 25 to this side. All right, so in the previous one, I added 25, right? Okay, so I'm going to add 25 to this side as well. However, when I did that, again, my leading coefficient was 1. So I just, brought the 4 over, because 4 times 1 is just 4. But in this example, my leading coefficient is 2. So really, I'm going to be adding 2 times 25, which is 50. So really, this is going to be 50 minus 5, which is 45. And then I'm going to factor this side. So again, square root of the first, square root of the last, sign of the middle. That gives me x plus 5 squared. Got to bring that 45 back over. Again, it doesn't have any like terms. I just need to put it at the end. So it's going to say 2x plus 5 squared minus 45. And then if you really, really have to, you can change it back to y equals 2x plus 5 squared minus 45. Our vertex is -5, -45. And our AOS, or axis of symmetry, is -5. X equals -5.